Hello, my name is Utku, and today I'll be talking about one of the projects I made at Ada and why I think it's important and why it would be very useful to the apprenticeship program. So, the project I'm going to talk about is my VDS quiz app. This is something I built for my Unit 17 assignment, mobile apps development. So what it is a mobile version for a quiz app, specially made for A-level business students. So the reason I chose this because I wanted to create something useful, not just do something like on paper. Uh, I had to think about the user. I had to plan the screens, build the logic, test it, and then I had to improve it based on the feedback I received. So, what the project was? So the project was, again, I said a quiz app for my assignment, and it was needed for. It was basically made for 16 to 18-year-old students studying business, and so that's why I focused mine on most like revision based. So when the user enters their name, they can choose any type of level, answer multiple choice questions, and then see their score, high scores, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's basically very simple, but it was very effective. One problem I faced was that I was trying to solve was that revision can feel pretty boring at first. So once people like redid the game, they felt a bit boring. So I had to add extra levels, a timer, not a timer, more images, and yeah, that's how I made the game better. So, how I planned the app. So, yeah, before making everything, I did research into existing quiz apps such as Kahoot and Quizlet. That helped me understand useful features like clear answer buttons, timers, scoring, and process tracking. Then I made a low fidelity designs, which were simple black and white screen layouts. After the feedback, I realized I needed proper results screen, bigger answer buttons, and clear question areas. This was very important because the user should not doesn't need to work out how the app like functions. It should be obvious from like at first when they immediately open the app. So the main tool I used was Anvil, and the logic was basically everything was written in Python. So my role was basically everything: planning the screens, building the home game forms, coding the questions, adding the timer, testing it, and publishing the app. I also used Anvil data tables, so scores were not just temporary. I created a score table with the username, score, and level, and then used server functions to save a score and get the current high score for that level. Whew. Okay, so the part I liked most probably was the automation in the app. The app automatically shuffles the questions list and also shuffles the answer options, so the correct answer is not always in the same place. When the user clicks an answer, the app has to check it and has to update the score, plays, the correct sound, the correct and like the incorrect score, and it has to move forward on time levels. The timer counts down if it reaches zero. All of that was a lot of work actually. I thought it would be easy, and yeah, it was at the end. I made it all work out. So okay, so what went well about this app? Okay, so to check that the app worked properly, I made a test plan. I tested things like blocking the user from starting without entering a name, launching each level, checking that the score increased correctly, checking that the timer reset, and making sure that the game ended properly after 10 questions. What worked well was that the main features all worked well together. The peer feedback was also pretty positive. The user rated the ease of use a 9 out of 10, said that the app ran pretty smoothly, it had no sort of bugs, and they also liked the sound effects. Oh yeah, so what was difficult? Okay. Um, Probably the hardest bit about it was probably putting all these different features together, making it work without also not confusing the user. For example, the timer had to reset at the correct point, stop when the game finished, and work differently depending on like the level it was set. Another challenge was probably the high score because the score only makes sense if it's linked to the correct difficulty level. So I also learnt from the feedback that the score timer boxes were pretty small, so I had to make information easier to see during gameplay. Ultimately, what did I learn from this project? So the biggest thing I learned was probably building an app is not just about writing hundreds and hundreds of lines of code. It's about understanding the problem, designing a simple process, testing it, and improving it when something is not clear. If I improved the app again, I would add a leaderboard so the users could compare their scores, add more subjects beyond business, and maybe explore an AI feature that changes the difficulty based on how the user performs overall. And this project shows that I probably like real world problems. I like building practical solutions, testing it properly, and keep on improving it. And that is my project and what I learned.